Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Premier Madden podcast. As always, I'm your host, Finn, and today I'm joined once again by my lovely co-host, Anthony. How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing, man?
It is good to have you back again, and also joining us full with Buffalo Pizza is Robert. How you doing, my man?
Oh, just living. Eating this pizza.
Yeah, we are completely on time, no delays here for this podcast for you guys. So once again, we're back with the Premier Madden podcast, and today we have a special guest joining us. His name is Trey Green. Goes by Trey. Trey was a D1 running back for Northwestern University from 2011 to 2015. I do have some stats here. Will he have to justify them or not? Senior year, he started 7 games at running back as a senior to bring his career total to 15 starts. Finished with over 1,400 rushing yards and 15 total touchdowns, which is a whopping 15 touchdown lead over Rob. You got anything to explain for yourself, Rob? Nothing. All right. So anyways, Trey, how you doing, man? Good to have you on the show.
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Right. So we're really excited not only have you on the show, but to also have you in the league. Unfortunately, it's not the Xbox League, so you won't be losing to me this season. But you're going to be joining the PlayStation League, man, and you're the Giants, right?
Yep.
So I guess my first question is why are you the Giants, and how many times are you going to be Anthony's Cowboys this year?
I don't know why I really got the Giants. I think mainly because of Saquon, the whole running back thing. I'm like, guess that would be cool to use them. It kind of sucks, though, because I'm a Cowboys fan. So I'm like, the Cowboys are taken. So I'm like, all right, well, at least I can beat them twice a year.
Why? Why would you take the rivals, though, man? Come on.
I know it hurt. It really did.
He beat me. He waxed me in the we did a tryout game. He waxed me, man. Like, it was ugly.
Well, I mean, I'm down for that rivalry. I'm down to watch and kind of get excited about that. So, Trey, you told me before the show that you are not new to CFMs and that you actually run your own connected franchise. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And then kind of like, are you guys like a strict like sim league, like really hardcore, kind of like how this one is? Or are you guys a little bit more laid back, winner take all, do what you got to do to win kind of deal?
Yeah, so it's really kind of laid back. The league is called Any Given Sunday. We've been running it for it was actually called No Shade. But we changed their name this year. Been running it for about 4 or 5 years now. A lot of the guys came over from NCAA, so we've been together for a good while now. It's funny with the rules. We've been kind of changing them year in and year out. It's kind of tough because, you have your core people that are used to, the certain rules, and then new people come and they're like, okay, well, my other league, we did this. So we try to take into account, like, what what our players want, what our users want, and kind of come up with the best rules. It's not really strict as far as like rules, like you can run as many players as you want to. There's no really type of balance. I think everybody in our league has a pretty fair play. So it's good in that aspect. And yeah, man, I'm just ready to start it. We start here pretty soon. I think like next week, Monday. So ready to get started.
That's weird because I think I was in that league actually like once or twice. AGS. Everybody calls it AGS?
Yes. That's it. I mean, well, it was Any Given Sunday probably, like, that had to be, like, 3-4 years ago. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, it was a while ago. We was No Shade for a good, 3-4 years, and we just changed it back this year.
Oh, okay. It might be a coincidence then. So, I've been in so many random leagues, so who knows?
Oh, I've always bounced around. But y'all wouldn't know about that on the Xbox side. It's we're in our own world over there. So, you mentioned you guys were in the NCAA leagues. Were you? Obviously, you were in the game, having been in the NCAA and D1 from 2011 to 15. So you were in the game. So, I guess my question is, what year were you the best rating out of all those years? Did you have any issues with your ratings? And did you ever play as yourself, or did you prefer not to?
For sure, I definitely played it myself. Probably majority of the time. I think. Let's see, my freshman year. So their thing was they couldn't have like your exact, like where you were from and like, I think exact height and stuff like that. So like my freshman year, I think I was like 5'11", 205 from like New Braunfels, Texas. I'm like, okay, well, I know that's me because I'm the only freshman here. So, and so they would kind of hide it that way. But I think going into my sophomore year was my best rating. My speed was a little low. I thought that they jabbed me there. but I wasn't the fastest guy either. So, but yeah, I mean, it was cool to be in there. I think, not knowing like what's really happening, like, right? So they're using your likeness, they're using your, whatever. And it's like, dang, like, it's just cool to be in the game. But like, once you graduate and leave, it's like, dang, okay. Everybody was wearing my jersey. Everybody was playing the game. I'm signing pictures of like NCAA, little still pictures. And I'm like, okay, that's a little different. And so like, when we got that check, it was definitely worth it.
So you did get a check through all the lawsuit stuff, or?
Yeah. So actually, right now they're going through another lawsuit, but from EA, we did. I think I got a check for my 2 or 3 years I was on it.
Okay.
And yeah, so
That's
appreciate
cool.
EA. Yeah.
Right. I mean, never turned down a free $1. Y'all got any questions for him? I know I've been kind of dominating the questions here.
Oh, yeah. What was that speed exactly?
I think it was like an 89 or 90.
You slided at 89?
We're
I just want Cooper
talking,
Kupp to be 89, man.
Right.
we were talking about me not getting no touchdowns. See, my speed at least like a 92, 93, son. I ain't get no touchdowns, but I got the Jets.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I might have preferred that. Being from Texas, like everybody's gonna dog you, like, oh man, you're supposed to be faster than that. I'm like, I am, but they just didn't help me out.
So, let's see. What was your favorite NCAA game? Because those were, I mean, classics. So what was your favorite?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I can only really remember the last one.
Okay. 14.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was such a heartbreak when I found out they wasn't doing it 15 again. And so like I think we really went all in on 14 that year and like just trying to whatever blemishes they had, we were just overlooking everything like this is the game and like kind of rock with it that way.
I feel that. For that, yeah, we were talking off after the last podcast, and I think mine was NCAA 07. Had Reggie Bush on the cover, and that was the first year that they did the Superstar. And I was telling the guys how it was just there was so much effort into those games, and I don't know if it's the same team that makes Madden or how close related, but I just remember so much effort being put into the NCAA where you were grinding to get your starting position, or even a little thing as silly as when you were a freshman, you were in your little dorm room and you could go around to all the different things. And when you went to the computer, there was a picture in the bottom right of the computer. And when you were just a freshman with like no popularity, it was like a picture of your girlfriend, but she was ugly. And then as your like popularity grew, like it was, she got a little better looking throughout. And probably going back now, it's probably just some grainy picture, and I was probably just imagining it because it was old, like original Xbox. But yeah, I was super sad about that. Rob, you got a question at all, or you're just still chomping down there?
I mean, you guys kind of covered my question regarding like Madden, NCAA. I was gonna ask him what his rating was, but speed standard, the same thing.
Right. So I guess another thing, I wanted to talk about you was like realism within Madden, and maybe kind of talk a little bit about is it even remotely close? And if you want to focus just run game, or if you want to focus on just the game at all. Just is there anything that they hit at all? Is there anything that they just really missed? And what do you wish that they could add within like the running? I know this is a loaded question here, but is there anything that they could add within the running game to make it a little bit better in your eyes? Yeah, so with adding the RPM motion, right, it's like this new thing, and like obviously they couldn't put everything they wanted to in this game, I'm assuming. It's just little details about it. Like I'm glad that they put it in. I'm glad. It's just like having Frostbite last year. Like it was lovely, but what else can you do with it, right? And so, just sticking with the run game, I think being able, I hated it like last year. I wasn't able to, like, as a runner, as a college football player, like I love cutbacks, right? And like it was always there. It was just a matter of timing and a matter of, how the blocks are set up. And so, this one I can get a feel for that more, right? I was just playing the other day. And, like, I made a cut with Alvin Kamara, and it was like I felt like I was actually running the ball again. I juked the safety, and I took it for 60, and it was just like it made me feel good from a standpoint of, like, man, like, I almost felt like I could play again. But, my knees started bothering me a little bit. But like, just that kind of that feeling of when you're controlling it and, like, okay, this is, like, pretty close to what you really want. Now, obviously, there's little things, little details that
It's kind of really it's immersive. It's really detailed as well. Like as far as like blocking, right? Some of the blocking schemes, I'm still kind of upset that they don't have like obviously they have traps, they have counters, they have those different variations. But I think kind of my biggest thing is uh, kind of the O lineman reaching up to the linebackers. Now, obviously, majority of the time they probably do reach them, but I think that make or break a play, right? So it's like if he doesn't reach him, then obviously the running back is reading off of that block, or inside zone, I'm reading off of what the guard or D tackle does, like that interaction between them, and then that's when I made the decision to cut all the way back into the backside or whatever, what have you. So I feel like they're getting there slowly but surely. I think playing it more, you start to realize like they're kind of fixing the zones a little bit. Kind of the language, kind of the responsibilities of kind of the DBs. They're getting better, not all the way there. Just from the little knowledge I have of defensive coverages and stuff. But I know for sure, as far as the running game, like they're getting there. Uh, the one thing that I would probably want them to add is just the RPM be a little smarter. You know what I mean? Like if I make a cut now, obviously without pushing turbo, even if I want to make a slight, like, okay, so they have the one cut motion, right? One cut motion is bam, but they make it seem like it's like you make that one cut and you got to jump all the way back instead of like a quick upfield one cut. Like it's a difference in that, I believe. And I think, they're going to get to it eventually, but that's like one of the things that I definitely wanted to harp on. And other was a jump cut, right? Obviously now they have this. They call it a juke, but it's really like it's like a huge jump cut where you jump in 2 yards to the right. But a slight jump cut where you can go from, it's kind of like that push to power instead of, pushing on their back. It's like I meant a slight jump cut, get to from the A to the C gap, and now I'm 10 yards up the field. So like little stuff like that as far as RPM.
Right. I like that. I like that idea of just like, because I know what I remember, at least in 18, I haven't really been able to do it in 19, is people will do that huge jump cut, but they'll be holding the lift stick in the same direction they were running. So it's like you make the huge jump and then you just go back to where you were. I had a lot of success with juke doing that huge jump cut and then holding the opposite direction, but that's open field. And like I get a quick burst the other way. So that works. But I like that idea of just like, dive A gap, read the linebacker, and hop out of it. And they don't, that Le'Veon Bell kind of deal, right? Yeah. Manipulating the second level guy. So I would love to see that. You got anything, Anthony? You've been quiet for a minute, man.
Yeah, I was just taking it all in, listening to an expert talk about the running game, because it's definitely one of the bigger things this year that just doesn't feel right. And I think when we had the Natural on here, the first episode, he was the one that said he wished that they had just sort of kept this one on the shelf, kept the real player motion on the shelf for one more year. And I felt like that going into last year with Frostbite, that the changes to Frostbite made it so that where there were a little bit glitchy of things that would happen. And I was like, okay, but next year it's really going to be good. They're really going to fine tune it. And then they add this year, and it's like, once again, we're at this point where it's like, oh, this year's all right, but next year is going to be really good. And I feel like that's how they hook us with Madden, is that they constantly leave us thinking like next year's game is going to be the one. Like we're finally going to get that finished product. And I don't know. Here we are again, thinking about the next year when they can really refine some of these things, because I don't think a lot of the changes that need to be done to real player motion are things that can be done with a patch. These are more like hardcore coding things. Like, maybe they can tweak the one cut. I would like to see that. It's almost like they were like, hey, check out this cool new one cut thing we added. Let's make it really dramatic and over the top to where it, like, it's cool to see. Grass kicks up when you do it, but you're going to, one cut right it back into the defense 10 yards away from you or something like that. So I don't know. It's nice to hear that, a real running back sees the same things that we're all seeing too.
Are they missing any core, and this one's for you, Trey, are they missing any like core run blocking? You mentioned trap, they're obviously their zone, there's big on big. Is there anything kind of missing that you remember, just like they could incorporate? I know I'm not a big O-line guy. You hear a lot of terms like pin and pull, get pulled around, and those kind of things. Are those concepts, do you ever see them in Madden, or are they just kind of sticking to the core basic ones of, trap, off tackle, stretch, toss kind of deal, pulling guard, very simple stuff? Hello? You guys there?
Can you hear me?
There it is.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries. You hear my question?
No, yeah. I really want to chime in on the point he just made real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
I think they do that whole hook us in, type of deal because there's no pressure, right? Obviously, you hear it all the time, but there's no pressure of like an NCAA game outselling them. There's no pressure of like a 2K game, outselling them. So I feel like that's a big, huge reason why. And honestly, I think even if they made a different type of NFL game, I don't even know if I would play it. But that pressure still busts pipes and makes people, work harder. To your question though, I hate how they run counters, right? Shotgun counters. I hate them with a passion, right? Because a lot of times they run counters and they leave, the opposite DN wide open, right? And that's the one that usually chases you up, or the pulling guards somehow get lost in the trash and they're, just kind of having their hands up and just moving around. So that annoys me so much, and like I hate how they have counter. I honestly think with kind of this new technology, I guess you could say, that they're starting. Well, I hope they get to like D-line interactions, right? D-line and O-line interactions. Mm-hmm. And I feel like once they hit that point, you will see the run game be more effective. And what I mean by that is, okay, you have a pulling guard, right? He has to get to that linebacker. Right now, you have it to where the D-line is just so dominant of getting up the field that it's always trashy. It's always, unless they have 3 down linemen, it's never going to work. That type of deal. So I feel like if they kind of touch on that, then those little things of like counters and like getting to that second level and even the third level really be a lot more effective in that regard. I feel like that's the only thing they're really missing. Like they have the powers, they have the gap scheme plays, they have the stretches, the zone reads and stuff like that. I would like to see, and I think this is like the NCAA side of me, I would like to see read option and kind of that stuff be a little bit more into the game. Obviously, not every quarterback is a running quarterback, but kind of that RPO run pass option.
Great point. Yeah, because they don't have that. They don't have the ability to pull and pass or run.
Exactly. And I think it's tough for them because obviously the O lineman can't go downfield on the RPO anyway. So it's like how do you kind of tune it that way? And so like I feel like that's one of the things next year they're gonna like hook us in where you can only like do a slant on the RPO, and then they're gonna be but next year 2020 we're really gonna have 2021 we're really gonna have like the best, you know what I mean? So like, yeah,
because it's such a huge part. I mean, that's why the Eagles, dominated well against Minnesota was through RPOs and stuff like that. So it's incorporated. It's there in the league. So I don't like that there's no ability to chip defensive end. I can't chip my edge rusher. It helped my tackle out a little bit. Like I'm very surprised that that's not there. And is there anything else in pass pro, or that's the only thing I've seen from a pass pro perspective? It's just I can't chip before he bounces out to like a 2x2 drop out, check down route or a flat or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I feel like they overlook like a check and release, right? Or something like simple as, all right, I'm checking down into the flat. I'm checking down just over the spot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't know why, but the running back sometimes it's not even like a real look. It's like, somebody's blitzing. I guess I'll go to him. It's not like a full like. I feel like the AI there is not really very high.
From what the running back is doing, you mean? Like
from like check releases. Yeah, exactly. All of that type of stuff. But from a pass pro perspective, I feel like it's pretty good. Like it can't really, like obviously there's stuff like they're not including, right? So like for us at Northwestern, we would always slide to the field, right? So basically meaning 3 O linemen all slide into the field. You have a boundary, 2 guys over there. Most of the time, running backs would be in the boundary, looking for will linebacker, safety, corner blitz, and then obviously if they brought a Sam linebacker, then we would check to the field. But I feel like that's kind of something that would be really cool to see in the game. Like as far as like, if somebody's blitzing, you can slide to protection that way. But I don't know how it will work as far as like the play yard or whatever. But I feel like that would be really cool to add as far as, okay, I want them sliding to the field, or I want them sliding to the boundary. Because it also, I don't mean to keep running on, but it also has to deal with, when defenses do they flip, right? So that some people have it on, some people don't, but when they flip their formation, and most of the time they have the blitzes coming from the field, that's something that you can tap into as far as if you're a quarterback doing pass protection.
Right. And just to clarify, just not only for me, because I think I know, but when you say boundary field, you're talking boundary is the close side, the shortest side of the field you have in terms of ball on the hash, right? And then field being the open side.
Correct.
All right, track it. I just want to make sure I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Rob, you over there on mute, man.
Yeah, I've been listening. Maybe I'm wrong. I just might have that new present, like everything's great, but I actually kind of like the running game. Not even just running game as in like running the ball like exclusively, but more like the real player motion, just a movement in general. Right. And I think it's definitely an upgrade from last year. And there's little details like Trey would touch on and Anthony would touch on that, like one that's big for me is it seems I know you guys said something about it our last podcast or the first one, but like it seems like half the time when I'm sprinting, it looks like a light jog from the running back. And that's just something it just kind of takes me out of it. But like besides little things like that, I think overall it's a lot better than last year. It gives me a lot more like freedom almost, because I can make cuts on a dime that are realistic. But so like last year, the swerve, you could swerve like it was a cartoon, right? Like, it was arcade. This year, it's all little cuts and it's really realistic, and it also lets you do a little cut into a juke. It just looks so much better than like a swerve, or like last year how everyone would just run like a big loop in the backfield if you're gonna get tackled. Like you're not doing that this year just because of the real player motion, all that, and that same goes for like open field, like with the receiver, etc. So I really like it, but again, like I said, it might just be like a new game. I got.
Well, I guess the thing is, I think I agree with you, Rob. Like you do have to be patient this year, and they've given you some of the tools to be patient, especially with the one cut access. Especially on these kind of zone based plays. Play east or west, get your gap and go. And this is something I guess I want to tie into a question to Trey, because one of the big issues I've been seeing is, we're back to O-line knowledge here within the game, within Madden, is sometimes these tackles are letting the edge rushers in clean. And I guess one of the examples I keep seeing is within Madden, and maybe it's a glitch, maybe I don't understand how dive works. Basically, it's a dive to the left side A gap, and the left tackle is letting the edge rusher crash. Actually, backside, sorry. So it's the other side. So it'd be the right tackle. Yeah, so right tackle is double teaming the DT, letting the edge rusher crash. Is that something that would happen on dive, where if I'm going left side A gap, should the right edge rusher be free? Because obviously with, he's getting a free down, lane down, and he's just crashing in. Would you expect a backside double team, or should it just be man on man?
Is this in gun or single back?
Single back. And if there's a difference in gun, let me know. Like this, because that might help us understand where EA is coming from, and maybe it's just poor execution. Maybe I just got unlucky these 3 or 4 times. It is like Havenstein. I'm playing with the Rams, so it's not exactly like the elite of right tackles. So, do you have any input?
I've actually seen that too, and I've kind of like in gun, not so much. I think because it's hard to explain, but I'll try. But I feel like, all right, so the backside left tackle, say you're going right A gap, backside left tackle, that's really it's supposed to be a what they call a man-on-man block, right?
Right.
And then you have your center and left guard reaching up to the will or Mike linebacker. Most of the time, it's the Mike linebacker. But yeah, I've seen that too. I don't understand why they do that. I think it's I don't know if it's an awareness thing. I don't know if it's I would want to see if like Tyron Smith does the same thing, like,
right,
because that's not right at all.
Right, exactly. Okay, cool. So and once again, I don't want to just come on a podcast and shit on EA. It could be haven't seen is not like I said, and what do they say? If you're a good right tackle, you play left tackle. I know that's not completely true, but he's not exactly the golden cream of the crop in run blocking. So maybe it is what it is. But that was just something. So thanks for clearing that up for me. How you doing over there, Anthony?
Good, man.
I feel like we're just soaking knowledge up here. I really appreciate you
really
coming on, Trey, man. This has been dope. It really has been. Maybe I'll bring something up here. We talked about last time, and it was either the first or second time, but you were talking about DB coverages earlier. And one of the things that I really wish they would do, incorporating within man coverage, is they don't do any switching. So it kind of kills concepts like, rub routes, getting your defender confused on the switch, maybe a low awareness player follows instead of switching, leaving a man open. Not that man coverage needs any more, anything to nerf it anymore, because man has been broken for years. But that's just something that I wish. Anything else that you just completely just don't see, or that you see, in real life that you just don't see, because it's just wild to me that I can't, that I just can't tell my corners to switch or to play 1 to 2, especially like in cover 2. That flat defender is basically always going to come flat, even if I send 2 deep routes that way. So it's going to leave the boundary open instead of playing it smart and going, I need to help my safety here and back up a little bit. But that's always been something that frustrates me. If there's anything that you guys have seen, and this isn't just Trey, I guess this is all of you, through the first, 5 to 6 days that this game's been out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that real quick. I think that the reason that they prevent a lot of that in-depth stuff is really to keep the skill level as close as possible, because some people could probably really break the game down and create these sort of Super Bowl caliber defenses that just nobody could pass on if you gave them those kind of an option. You almost have to rely on the AI to help the noobs be able to make the game fun for everybody. And sometimes it feels like they actually prevent us from being able to take that next step just based on how general the game is.
That's a good point. You got an input, Rob? I say unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I know for just in the past week or so I've been playing this game, I've seen almost like a meta develop, and you can see already what's good and bad. And you can see defensively, at least online, what I've seen, it's a lot of cover 3. It seems to work very well, but also as good as zones almost seem to be better this year, but also worse. I'm like 50-50 on it. I have mixed results because I don't know how many times, countless times, that I'll have 3 deep and they'll just send a post route. They'll have 2 routes on the field and one will be like a deep post, and my deep zone just don't play it whatsoever. But then at the same time, I have zones a little closer to the line of scrimmage, like a flat or even like a hook zone, and they're playing great and they're jumping routes and just breaking stuff up. So I know that you can tell already that it's just there's a meta being developed. And so when I do see that cover 3 online, so that sometimes that deep post, it gets stopped, sometimes it doesn't. But anything, if you're not running that deep post, any like intermediate to even depending on how you run the cover 3 to short drags, it's getting stopped very well. And that's just what I've seen online in the past week or so. But it's just starting to develop, so I'm sure there's gonna be things that change within the next patch, a few weeks, whatever. That's just what I've noticed.
Is cover 3 seem to be the OP defense right now? That seems to be it. I haven't played too much of it.
That's what I've been seeing, at least. I haven't played too much competitive, like the draft or was it weekend league or even just online had as much. But I've played draft champs, or what? Yeah, I think it was called draft champs, and even some just salary cap and little stuff like that.
Dragon.
But it's a lot of cover 3, and especially if you have someone who's knows what they're doing, how they can disguise coverage, and they'll change zones, not just running a stock cover 3. It's hard. It's really hard to stop as of right now, or to beat, I should say, as of right now.
I feel that. I hate that you can only disguise in base coverage. Why can't I disguise my 3 is 2 or my 2 is 3?
Yeah, all you can
one
do
high, have him
is
drop. I guess I can auto maneuver things. Y'all got any more input on that, or y'all want to move on from the topic here? I know I'm talking way too much.
I wanted to add one thing. I feel like they don't do the switching because sometimes I feel like they'll open the floodgates for like some type of like glitch will happen or something like that. Because I feel like that's too like detailed, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a video game, right? So you have to have some type of like, I guess, things that you can beat, things that that aren't just there. So yeah, and also I did want to add another thing. For some reason, like safety play on deep balls is just horrible. I don't know why. Like obviously, like cover 3 deep zone, like you was talking about that post. It seemed like he just like the safety kind of hangs out sometimes too long in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen that too.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of actual like clips that people have taken where they're just you take those rage clips where you're just so pissed at the end of the game that you actually go back and find the play that really pissed you off. And I've seen a lot of plays where those deep safeties, they'll show like the moment that the QB releases the ball and that the safety will still continue to drift away even after the ball's been thrown and is midair. And it's not until right before the ball hits the receiver, they complete this deep pass that the safety finally decides to react. And it's like, there's no NFL safety with that poor of awareness.
When I tell you guys, I had one of the darkest moments of my Madden life the other day. The dude, he was in an ace close, single back ace close. He ran some kind of like PA. It was like 30 yards downfield post. I tried using it. There was 2 routes on the field. There was a crossing route that beat my a hook zone or even a purple zone because it was that like distance. And then he had like a 91 Randy Moss. It was draft champs, so it was a 91 Randy Moss, and he just threw it all game. I could not do anything about it, and it was one of those times I had to put my mic in, go in a game chat. Yo, you effing loser! I swear to God, all that. So it was pretty dark. I'm not gonna lie.
What's going on, everybody? Quick plug here, break from the podcast to talk about the Premier Madden League. Premier Madden League, first and foremost, go to join.premiermaddenleague.com and reserve your spot. This is a league super in-depth. We have partnerships with sports gamers online. We have, just like you see on the podcast right now, former D1 football players playing within the league, and you're really going to get a sense of immersion and depth with this league. This is not just a PlayStation 4 league. It spans all 3 consoles that are available. Oh, sorry, you PC gamers for calling it a console. Anyways, spans all 3 platforms that you can play Madden 19 on. So whether you're PlayStation or Xbox, maybe you feel like you can come in and dominate and want to be a part of a league that's super in-depth and dedicated to sim-style football. If you are interested in something like that, go to join.premiermadden.com, read the rule book, fill out the application, and get your chance to play in the Premier Madden League. All right, everybody, thank you for bearing through that ridiculous commercial there about the Premier Madden League. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys check that out. So for kind of our final topic here, I have a question for everybody here. It's not just Trey. We're all CFM vets. So I'm going to put you guys in a scenario. All right. It's the conference championship. For you, Rob, it's week 17. You won't make playoffs. But for everybody else, it's the conference championship. Right, going to the Super Bowl if you win this. All right, you got the ball. You need to score a touchdown, but not this play. All right, 2-minute drive. It's 3rd and 12. Okay, what's your bread and butter 3rd and 12 play call? Rob, it cannot be 4 verts. Okay, so pick something else. All right, that's the last time I'll pick out Rob this whole show. No, so what is your play? What are you looking for? Does it have an audible? Do you have a change based on the defense, or are you going at it no matter what? Go ahead and break it down. I guess we'll start with Anthony and work our way down.
I mean, this year it's PA shots for sure. Like that's been such a money play, especially with my Mutt squad. I've got it set up perfectly to where I can send sort of the X or the square receiver on a 9 route, and just like the only thing I've got to do is I've got to get a little bit of time. And so usually what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop back. If I can see that something's going to be open, if that first receiver gets off of that press or gets past that DB and looks like he's going to be streaking, I just double tap and let him streak down the field and hit the rack catch and take it in for the win, you know. But if not, I drop back, I sit, chill for a little bit, wait for that gap in the line to open up, and then I step up into the pocket, usually to the right a little bit, and let the plays develop and let the receivers get behind the DBs. That's this year, though. I mean, it changes from year to year, but a couple weeks in, that's been my money play for sure.
Okay. All right. So everybody, including Trey, you got him twice a year. So that's the whole point. All right. We don't have to worry about that question anymore.
It'll all change.
That was Trey. Trey DM'd me to ask that question. He needed to
Nice.
ask. So.
Yeah, I'm taking notes over here.
Nice and quiet. All right, Trey. What is your play? What are you gonna do, bro?
I guess mine is pretty simple. It's just 4 wide, shallow cross. You got the go, drag, dig, post. 3rd and 12, so I'm probably going to audible smart route, out route, that go route on the outside, and hopefully try to, read the covers. Most of the time people are playing cover 4, cover 3 anyway, so I'm reading drag to dig. Rarely the post is open, but I don't really need much time. I kind of figure it out pretty quickly, so that's been my go-to so far.
I feel that. What about you, Rob?
So I don't know if you guys ever heard of that play, 4 verticals. It's usually pretty good. They actually all run just straight on the field.
Pineapple pizza eating. Mother.
No, but seriously, I'm about to give you guys a little ebook knowledge, okay? So in the Saints playbook, they have a formation on pistol, bunch tight end. At least last year, I haven't used it much this year, but one of the best, for me at least, one of the best formations in the game. This year that they did make it so a lot of the runs, especially ones with pulling guards, you cannot flip. So last year, if you had a pitch, you could run to either side, regardless of whether there was a pulling guard or like weak or strong side. So if I had like an I form with like a strong right, and then I saw my opponent like loaded the right side, I could flip it regardless of the play. This year it did change, so something like one of the money plays in that formation with a strong power, I could flip it to either side, and it was very good.
Wait, Rob. It's 3rd and 12 in a 2-minute drill. Please don't tell me you're running.
Oh, I know. I'm getting to it. I'm just
okay. Right. Sorry, I had to let you know the scenario. I don't know. If
oh yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I put so much thought into this. Okay.
All right, I respect it. I'm sorry. I just had to make sure you knew, man. I mean,
yeah, so there's a play called cross drags. It basically you're just gonna pick on the user. So that's all ends up being, and I'm gonna break it down. That's it. Cool.
I feel that. All right, well, I'll hit you. You had Saints playbook. So this is kind of in the Redskins playbook, and it's in the Rams playbook, and the playbooks are the same. EA is just too lazy to take Sean McVay's playbook. So they're the same. So pick one, Washington or LA. Guns, stack Y flex. So there's a little bunch to the left side, 2 receivers, tight end here on the slot on the right side. It's always good if you have somebody big. In this situation, I got Tyler Higbee, so that it's nice to have him over the middle. Cooks is on the far right side, and then I have Gurley in the gun to the right of me. So the play is fade out. So there is a deep go or deep on the left side and a little out route out of the bunch to the left. I don't really fuck with that. I might audible a slant there just to get somebody coming across the field. On the right side, both the tight end in the slot and the wide receiver are running post. So this is perfect against too high. That's my initial look. If it's too high and they're using a linebacker, they're going to bite on the tight end post. So as soon as they follow that post, Cook's post is going to be wide open. Throw it nice and low. Don't try and lead it up the field to the safety. That's normally the go right there. That's the read. Their linebacker, because they don't really read 2 posts. It's not, for me, from my user linebacker experience, I don't normally read 2 posts. So then if they take it, then I have the tall target and Higbee to hit on the high throw, easy day. And then if I see like 3 high, or not 3 high, cover 3, 1 high, I'll audible running back Gurley to wheel and then hit that slant coming across the field, and then Gurley is the lead blocker on the wheel. So you hit the slant late, Gurley lead blocks, and I just got like one person to beat. But 9 times out of 10, they're running cover 4 and on that situation, and you just take a sack because you didn't hit the ball quick enough, and you have Havenstein at right tackle. So That's normally what happens to me.
Oh wow.
Avoid that. I just put him on third down, so that I don't have to take the sack.
You said the CFL tactic is coming out, my man.
It's pro tips. I'm trying to help all you guys.
I would like to keep it to being a little tip based, but I think we have to be good before we start giving tips. So we're gonna have to wait until we have like winning records. But I am super excited to kind of cover you guys. Actually, I'm kind of excited that I'm not in the league because it gives me a chance to just keep in on games, look at stats, and watch the fun ones instead of having to schedule my own. So I'm excited to cover you guys over the season. You two should have a pretty good rivalry there in the East, so that'll be fun to watch. You guys got any closing statements before we get up out of here?
No, I think I'm good. Only thing I did want to mention is that I don't know if it's me or like the offense receivers wise when the ball is in the air. I feel like they're not aggressive this year. I feel like they made the defense more aggressive as far as when the ball is in the air. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but it's just something that.
Was it you, Anthony, that mentioned holding left tackle or the left trick? Well, it'd be L2 for you bums. So L2 while aggressive catching. I haven't tried it, but somebody said something about holding.
It would be a pretty decent way to square up and turn an off balance defender into a balanced one right before you jump up to make the
offense side.
Are you talking about on offense?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Somebody mentioned. Yeah, somebody mentioned. So if y'all want to lab that and let me know if that even works.
I've tried it on deep bombs where you think you're gonna throw it deeper and ends up being a little short, so you've got to bring your receiver back.
Right.
I've tried it on that, but that's a 50-50 ball, really.
Right. Yeah. I know what you mean. And then worst Trey is like the receiver after it gets picked off he'll have an animation where he's not. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, it's even worse. Like he doesn't even get back to make the tackle. Like don't even go for the ball.
He's over there. He said, darn.
Right. It has that animation. I'm like, Randy, get back. Randy,
I hate that.
You run a 4.25. Go.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Well, Trey, thank you so much, bro, for coming on today. I mean, just in the short amount of time that we spoke with you, that was a ton of knowledge of learning from both of us, and I think for the listeners as well. Well, both of us, all three of us. Sorry, Rob exists. But really, it's been great, and we really hope to have you on throughout, as the CFM progresses, whether it be just to talk about that or just talk more football on Madden as the game kind of gets patched. So thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me. Hopefully, I'll be in here a few more times.
Absolutely.
One more quick question before you go.
Yeah, no worries, Sam.
Super Bowls have you won in your other league?
Last year, I won 4 straight.
Damn.
Hey.
I'm screwed.
It was hella hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it was I got some dudes.
That hard. If you won 4 straight, it wasn't hard.
I'm live commentating your games. That's done. Done deal. It's happening. Anthony, if you don't put it on your 190K Twitter follower, if you don't post that mixer link, I respect it.
I don't want anybody to know about these guys.
Well, that's all we have for this week on the episode. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and apply to the Premier Madden League. You can do that at join.premiermadden.com, and you get to play with Trey Green, Anthony, and Rob. And super exciting there. And if you're an Xbox guy, by all means, come over here and give me your first overall picks. So super excited. So remember, the Lions and the Xbox League. Trade me your guys. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on today. Great episode, and look forward to the future.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.